Good evening. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here again tonight in Community 7 and Trinity Adventist International Church in Bangkok. Sorry for the little delay today. We started a little bit late. As you see, I'm not in the usual studio setting. Somewhere else with the family today. So I hope that you all are doing okay. We are having a good time and enjoying a little bit of the differences here of going around in Bangkok through these reopening stages of after COVID-19. So although around the world people are still suffering and there are still a second and third wave in some countries, we have been blessed here in Thailand that the opening back of the country has been steady and God has spared this wonderful country from much of the backlash of the COVID-19 diseases. Still a lot of difficulties with the financial part, but God has been with us. Today we're going to discuss financing our ministries online. So that's a very interesting topic, and I hope that you guys are blessed. I'm going to share some of my experiences and some of my tricks that can help us to finance our digital oriented ministries. So we're going to start by looking at some ways that we can make an income, that we can have an extra income, that we can have some form of financial help for our online ministry. I'm going to touch on a couple of them briefly, not into very detail because we don't have too much time. And then I'm going to give you one of my best kept secrets about financing your ministry. I hope that will help you. So I hope that you stay with us until the end. We are here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch every single week on Tuesdays nights at 8 p.m. Bangkok time. So I thank you all for joining, and those that have been with us for the past few weeks. Hope that you also continue to enjoy our program and our sharing here through these different online mediums. But before we start, I'd like all of us to ask for God's guidance, that He might be with us. I'm sure that He is guiding us in everything that we do, in our ministries, in our work, in our family lives. And I ask that each one of you that are watching this live cast right now, that you might lift up a prayer to God and ask Him to open our eyes, open our minds, open our hearts, and we might be able to share and to listen to His word, that today we can continue to grow and be a little bit more blessed by Him. Now, first of all, I would like to start with the making, if you want to grow your online ministry and you need some financial help, where do you get that extra money? Number one on my list is from friends, family, and the church. Yes, it seems a little bit obvious, but it's some of the sources that we sometimes forget or put aside. When we are doing some work for God, and we need finances. We need finances to either have some equipment or to have some subscriptions for services that can make our work, our services a little bit better, a little bit easier to run. Again, last week we talked a little bit about equipment. So last week we talked a little bit about understanding the ROI. So that's a very important thing to remember. Return on investment. So when you are looking at your online ministry or any work, the first thing that we should look at as marketing managers or missionaries, it is our ROI, our return on investment. For every baht, for every dollar that we put in, then how much are we getting back? So that is something important for us to understand. ROI. So when we buy an equipment, if I invest in buying a $1,000 camera, or let's say that we buy a Canon, the let's say that we buy the D50 for about 850 US dollars. That is about 28,000 baht. And we buy a used one, maybe in good condition. So we have to buy a lens. So we add maybe about 6,000 baht on top of that to buy a lens. Now the quality that you will get from that camera, maybe you get a 4K with a nice lens that can give you a nice blur background. So what is the return on the investment? You look at on the lifespan of that camera. Let's say you plan to replace it in 2 years. How much money you need to make or to grow to be able to buy that camera back again in 2 years? Will that camera improve your quality to the point that you'll get more followers, more subscribers, you will be able to fundraise more money? Will that camera help you to do your work a little bit faster, a little bit better, a little bit easier? I will tend to go for the latter, to always look for the return on investment by purchasing things that will make your job easier. That technology might not be a hinder to you, but rather to be able to help you, to make it easier and faster for you to share. So that is something important. Now, if that return on investment matches up to the cost of what you are doing, that's a very good purchase. The return on the investment. If by purchasing this equipment or by subscribing to this service, I can do 2 videos a week, or I can write 2 articles a week where I normally able to do only 1, then that's a good return on investment. You're purchasing something that will double your production, right? Or will double the amount of Bible studies that you can do, will double the amount of posts that you can do, right? So that is something that is easier to calculate your return on investment. When you're talking about quality, it's a little bit harder, because when you say, okay, I'm gonna stop streaming in 720p. Right now I'm streaming in 720p at 30 frames per second. It's not the best quality ever. The sound is not the best. I have echo in the room. Don't have right now a separate microphone. I'm not in my studio. I'm not in a normal place. But how much is the difference in quality that will help me to get more followers, or to help me to do better my job, or to help me to fundraise, or to get more money, or to sell more products? That's a little bit harder to really quantify. So we have to look at that return on investment. And when we do that, we need first to go to the people that are closest to us. So for example, we go and we see our friends. Say, look, this is my plan, this is my project, I would like to get this much money. And you start there. You go to your church. This is a ministry I want to start. Can you help me? Never underestimate what a request for help can do and how much you can get from it. Even if you can pay it completely from your pocket, if you can receive help from somewhere else, why would you spend your money on that when you can have somebody else help you with that and use your money to expand the work that you're doing, or your ministry, or your work, or your livelihood for a little bit longer? Financing your ministry is something so critical and so important that I think is the key that makes good missionaries with very poor ones. During my studies, I always heard people saying the difference between a very successful missionary and a poor missionary is how much they read. But I believe that it's not only how much you read, but it's actually how good are you at keeping your personal finances. Because if you have a good management of your finances and you are able to take care of your finances properly, you're able to buy more books. If I have no money to buy bread or to buy food, I'm not gonna go spend any money on books. So you need first to make sure that you are okay with your finances. So I think this is the main thing that all we missionaries need to do, to make sure that we finance our ministries. So the first option is to go to friends and family. Every time you have a project, every time you have an expansion, you have something, ask. And I know that sometimes it's difficult for us to ask. I know, I was there. And God taught me from hardships and difficulties to learn to be humble and ask. Not because I go with somebody and say, okay, help me to do this, let's do 50-50, let's share the cost. Not because of that I'm a less of a person. It doesn't mean that I have no money. It doesn't mean that I cannot do it. Not because I tell my friends, oh, yes, let's go out, but I cannot pay for my meal. Can you share with me? Can we split the bill 50-50? Can we each one pay for what we eat? It's not a problem of being humble or not. It's a problem of being wise with your finances. And that is something that we need to understand, that our value comes from God. Our value comes from who we are, not necessarily for what people think of us. Our finances take an important role in our work, in our ministry, and in our life. So we need to take that seriously. So we're going to talk more about this in the future. So when we ask for money from other people, remember that and keep that in your mind, that it's okay for you to share. It's okay for you to ask for money. It's okay for you to ask for help. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, now you start to get some followers. And you might say, no, I need to get 2,000 followers. I need to have 10,000 followers before I can get some money from them. It's true. In the easier way, the most easiest pathways, yes, you need a lot of followers to be able to monetize them, to be able to get money from them in different ways. But it's not really the only way. It doesn't mean that you have to have so many followers for you to get some money from them. It is that you have to have good followers. If you have heard from in online ministry or people that work online, they have this concept of 1,000 true followers. The goal of any person that has a business online is to reach 1,000 true followers. And what is a true follower? A true follower is somebody that is willing to spend $100, that is 3,000 baht, on you every single year. So a true follower is somebody that can give you 3,000 baht every year. Why is that 1,000? Because that is equivalent to $100,000 in 1 year. No, that's more than enough for you to run your ministry and take care of your family and your future. So that is what you're looking for. You're looking to have 1,000 true followers. Now, how do you get your followers to give you that $1,000? You cannot just go and ask them for money, because you'll say, give me 3,000 baht or give me 100 US. Something that not everybody can do and not everybody will do. But that doesn't mean that they're not a true follower. We have to find ways for us to be able to offer so much value to them that they are willing and able to share that with us. Whether it is 300 baht every month, whether it is maybe a little bit less, it could be 250 baht every month that somebody can give you. For what? Now here is where you need to start looking at who are your true followers. Because you don't need to have many. You need to have people that are willing to really support you in what you're doing and are seeing the value for what you're doing. So you need to find a way of offering them a service or offering them a product. You can build your own product, you can get somebody else's product. In the way of getting somebody else's product, you can look at websites such as ClickBank, clickbank.com. You search on Google, ClickBank, and you can go there, open accounts completely free. You open an account and you see thousands and thousands of different products. Some are digital products, some are physical products that people will give you or will offer you for you to resell from them. So, for example, let's say that I have an account on ClickBank and I have a book, an ebook that I want to promote. Then I go there and I put it out that anybody who sells one of my books, I will give them 40% of the profit. I'll give him 50% of the profit, 20% of the profit. So then all you need to do is to connect your followers with my book, and automatically they receive a commission, or you receive a commission of whatever percentage I have set in ClickBank. So that is one important way. And you don't need to sell a lot of products. You need to find one product that it goes for the people that follow you. So you understand what kind of followers you have. That's why I always tell people, when you open a YouTube channel, when you open your Facebook page, or you open your Instagram account or your TikTok account, don't just go out to everyone and publish everywhere your TikTok account or your YouTube account and ask everybody to follow you. Of course, your friends will follow you. I'm your friend and I will follow you, but that doesn't mean that I like what you're posting. So I might watch one or two. If I watch one or two, and then I will not watch anymore because I don't like your content. And it's different. If I like your content, then I will subscribe to it. The thing is that we don't understand that if we have followers that do not really like our content, then that means that we have content that is not being watched fully. And that is worse than having less followers. I prefer to have only 100 followers and make sure that the 100 followers I have love my content, that they follow me, that they cannot wait for me to post another video, they cannot wait for me to start my new live session, that they're waiting there, and as soon as I upload it, they click on it and they watch the whole video and watch it again, maybe 1 or 2 times, and then comment on it, then send me a message and share it. Because that tells Google or tells Instagram or tells Facebook or tells TikTok that my content is good. But if I have 1,000 followers and 800 of them, yes, look at it maybe 3 days after, 4 days after I upload it, and they only look at it a little bit in the front, or maybe they skip through, and then don't watch the whole thing. It tells Google, this content is not good. People are not waiting, they're not crazy to see it, they don't want to watch the whole thing. So it's better to have a few followers that truly love your content, and that's how you get to grow and also to know exactly what they like. So if you know what they like, then you can offer some kind of product or something that they can see value in it. Because sometimes it's difficult for us to say, well, I am doing this, if you want to support me, you can go to Patreon, patreon.com. We talked about that earlier on in the series. Patreon.com, you can go there and open an account and ask people to follow you there and to donate to you. So every month they can donate. They say that I will follow you and every month I'll give you $1, 30 baht. And we follow there. And that is our third way that you can make money. So first, we have asking friends and family and the church to help you. Then second, we have finding some kind of product to share with your loved ones, with your people that are following you, and find something that is of value to them so they can actually get some value and you get a little bit of profit. And through that, I talk about ClickBank, and there are many products that you can do. ClickBank is one of them. Amazon FTA is another one. You can just search on Google products to sell or affiliate programs, and there are hundreds of affiliate programs that you can join where you can get products and you can resell them. So the important part before you do that is to be sure who is following you, and the people that follow you, what is that they love, what is that they need, so you can give them a value and you can get part of that. If you want your own product, it's the same thing. You need to have a product that they love, something that doesn't cost you much, and something that is not harder for you to make, that you can actually make it quite simply and just share it with them, and you get some value to them and they can pay that to you. And third, that way that we talk about now is Patreon. Patreon.com, having subscribers that will actually donate to you or will give you a subscription every month where you can get some value for what you are doing. And so you can check there on Patreon and be able to subscribe there. As again, it's also free completely for you. You just subscribe, create your account, you share there what are the perks that you want to give to people that give you some money per month, and you can get some more money from there. So that is something that is very, very simple to do. And of course, for the three of them, for those three parts, it's important for you to have a central location, central place where you can have all your contacts, all your information, and keep track of what people are doing. Data is the most important part. That is the key for all of the big companies today in online selling, like Amazon, Google, Facebook, TikTok, all of them. The big fight online right now is for data. is to know what people like. And that is why right now the US is almost going to war with China, because they don't want the Chinese to have the kind of data that the US can collect on people from around the world. And that's why the US is blocking Huawei, is blocking TikTok, and they're trying to do anything they can so the power of data remains in the US. But that's a discussion for some other time. Because what we need to learn from that is that we need to start collecting data. So you open your website, not just have a TikTok account, not just have a YouTube account, have a place where you can collect the data so you can see what people are doing online. So when you finish your video, you post a Bible verse, you post something about Christ. You always tell them, I am a Christian. And we spoke about this in a conference that I did on Saturday in Spanish for South America. We talked about how we can evangelize online. And I said that we always start with evangelism, with saying who we are. And we can share a Bible verse, we can share a short text there, we can say, you can learn more here. And we put a link to where they can learn more. In the same manner, you can do a link on your profile